Guys, this is a good one.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic chockitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, 35 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
That's right. This is my flu game. We're running the Sims. I am very excited for this showdown slate. We don't get a ton of these where we have a bunch of variables, dare I say, flipping the slate on its head. Of course, we have the weather, which looks absolutely awful in Buffalo. We have the total on this game coming down. Last I checked, it's down to 39. And then on top of it, we have some kind of shifting stuff here with Zack Moss active. And most of the projection systems did not have Zack Moss, Run the Sims included, in our initial batch of projections. He is active. Makes sense considering you would have to assume we're looking at a very run-heavy game tonight. But I'm looking around at other projection sources, and I'm not seeing hardly any ownership on Zack Moss. Literally none in the captain slot. Now, this isn't me saying go jam 150 Zack Moss captain lineups, but it does make intuitive sense to me. And Justin mentioned this in the Discord about him, the Bills being a favorite to lead this game and him being their most bruiser type running back. It would not surprise me whatsoever to see Zack Moss installed as the lead back in a game like this. And this feels like a spot that we can exploit, where a lot of people who were running optimizers earlier today, hand building their lineups, they weren't even considering Zack Moss. And now even if they go check their updated projection systems, they're not seeing much Zack Moss by way of, projection or leverage. So I'm very excited about Zack Moss tonight. I ran my lineups. I was close to 100% Zack Moss, mainly in the flex. I didn't end up with a ton of him as a captain. But Justin, and we can look at the inputs here, shifted a ton of the rush rates up and shifted a lot of production to the running backs, which obviously to me makes a ton of sense. So we can get right into it. We can figure out what is going on with this slate here. Now, this is a take that I don't know if I can co-sign on. N'Keal Harry will break the slate. Yes. I mean, the Sims never like the kickers, and boy, will the Sims not like the kickers tonight. It is a banner night for the double Ds. So right away, as far as the captains that stand out to me, Damien Harris is the big one. You see, we have him here in the Sims at, actually, I might have a setting. Oh, this was me fiddling around with it earlier. I was like, Damien Harris shouldn't be that high. This was playing as at a low scoring. Let me go back to the baseline sim here. So, but still right at the top here, we see Damien Harris around 11%. I'm seeing an aggregated captain ownership for him around 4%. So we're getting a pretty nice leg up on the field there with Damien Harris. Zack Moss, like I said, I can't find any captain ownership on Zack Moss. He's showing up in our Sims 5% of the time. So, I mean, the thing I was thinking is just because of how under the radar Zack Moss is tonight, even in my super large field stuff, when I was looking to avoid duplicates, I wasn't necessarily needing to go to Zack Moss as a captain to avoid duplicates, but the Sims don't even hate it. No one is going to play it. And then Ramondre Stevenson also looks good. You see him up here at 8%. I'm seeing aggregated ownership around 5% there. So those three running backs. And then on the flip side, the guys who really took a hit were the passing game. Jacoby Myers, he's now appearing in our Sims, only 4%, seeing around 8% aggregated ownership. I guess the question you have to ask yourself is how much is the field now going to adjust from this. And I do think the ownership projections are pretty fragile tonight. Just knowing everyone's seeing this weather talk on Twitter. Everyone's seeing the videos of the wind whipping around and the kickers struggling and all this stuff. So how much the field adjusts to this is kind of guesswork. But I do think leaning heavy into the run game, just knowing that a lot of the other projection systems haven't necessarily accounted for it, and that's what the people we're playing against are going to be using, I think is something we can take advantage of here. Lunchable says, Twitter scaring people off. I'm pivoting hard off the defenses tonight. Alan, captain, can I take all the money? Well, here's the great thing about the Sims is even with the weather stuff, they're not popping in a massive way. So I can head over to the flex screener. Bills are appearing in our Sims in the flex about 20% of the time. I'm seeing average ownership around 17%. We could probably boost that up. They'll probably end up being overowned. They'll probably end up in the 25-30% range. And even in this sim where we're definitely playing it for a low scoring, crappy weather game, they're still not appearing a ton. So I do agree with you on that call. Same with the Patriots. They're appearing in our sim at about a 17% clip, seeing average ownership around 15%. And I do agree that that's probably light. The defenses are probably going to be owned a little too much relative to their actual projection here. And I definitely agree with this take. This is a slate where you can certainly leave a lot of money on the table. We can take a look at some of these custom lineups here and just check out some of the salaries and see how these are looking. But right at the top, I mean, here's a lineup that has almost 5K left on the table in the top there. Justin was joking on Twitter about leaving 10K. You probably in some super large field stuff could get away with it, but you see a 45-2, a 46-7. So yeah, if you are a salary maxi, tonight is your night to, holy cow, here we go. Here's a 40K. There's your 40K, 10K left on the table. Josh Allen, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, Zack Moss, Buffalo Bills with Ramondre Stevenson coming back. I love that lineup. I like that lineup a lot. So yeah, definitely do not be worried about leaving salary on the table tonight. It is perfectly viable to do so. So that's why I love this slate, because we have so many different ways to get unique. We have the field overreacting to the defenses. We have Zack Moss nearly, completely flying under the radar. We have the ability to leave all kinds of salary on the table. So yes, I love this slate. I think it's going to be very fun here, and we can mess around with the Sims under a few different scenarios here. You did not miss. No, Breida is not out. Bills are suiting up all three running backs tonight, but Breida does not profile as a back that they're going to give, 20 plus carries to, in a snow game. That just has never been his MO. And I do agree with the input thesis here on this being a pretty split backfield with a little nudge to Zack Moss. He does, this is a Zack Moss type game. And similar to Ramondre Stevenson, I try to be very careful with not reading too much into healthy inactives. I mean, people were trying to dig a grave for Ramondre Stevenson because he was a healthy scratch, even though when he was active, the team was more than willing to use him in big spots. So I'm not going to just pretend like Zack Moss doesn't exist because he was a healthy scratch. I like how aggressive Justin is with the inputs, and this is the beauty of the Sims. If you know better, if you want to go in and adjust Zack Moss down, and you want to get back up to Breida levels, more power to you. But to me, I think it's a smart adjustment. And I also think it's an edge that we can push, because we don't even have to be completely right at, a 27% market share. Like, even if he's at like a 15 or 20% market share, the field still isn't going to be playing him enough based on how often he would appear. I mean, why don't we do that experiment? Let's just flip him and Breida, and let's even make it a little bit more extreme. Let's go Actually, let me do this. Yeah. Come here. Let's flip you back. Yeah, let's just flip these. We'll go 27, 22, and we'll give Breida a bigger market share. 39.5, 12.9. We'll just see here what that does with Zack Moss. So even in this scenario, Zack Moss is still appearing in 21% of flex, and I'm seeing average ownership on him around 5%. So that's kind of my point. Like, even if you want to play it as Breida as the lead back, like Moss still projects awesome as a large field showdown type play. Can you do a FanDuel sim? Where's Joe Holka? Where's Joe Holka when you need him? If we have a little time here at the end, I can maybe run one for you. I should also mention, Run the Sims did just roll out a discounted rest of season package. You can now get for the full season, including playoffs, $100, which is cheaper than even the monthly package. So if you're wanting to get around, mess with these, your own configurations, your own inputs, your FanDuels, all of that good stuff, you can do it. Jay Fresh won $100,000 on Yahoo this week using Run the Sims tools. So highly recommend getting in there. It will, depending if you play any kind of meaningful volume, it will definitely pay off your ROI there. You can use promo code Pete for 10% off. Geez, the FanDuel Sims. Gee, the FanDuel guys are out. You guys are out tonight. Yeah, Leone is going to have one on tonight. He better be drinking. I would need about a handle of whiskey in me to not feel the cold. Bolden Impact really swings these numbers. Bolden is a guy that looked pretty good to me as well. All four of the running backs, now that we push through the kind of run heavy update on the inputs, Bolden, I was seeing in the Sims at 15% captain ownership, flex, and about 10% average ownership. And then for captain as well, he was showing up in the Sims in 1%. He's not my favorite type of play, but again, if you're just shifting everything to the running game, Bolden can certainly be a part of that. The weather is doo-doo. Breaking news from Sean. Watch out, Kevin Roth. Sean is coming for your job. The weather is doo-doo. Let's see here. Let's mess with a different kind of game style here. I mean, even this 21-18, like if this is the doomsday weather scenario, seems pretty high. Let's even just see what this looks like as like a 14-10 game. Let's even boost the rush rates a little more and see what this looks like. We'll also play it more as a higher scoring game because that's actually probably the little bit more contrarian. In this, do you see how spread out the captain ownership is here? So in this scenario, Damien Harris stays around the same at 11%. Josh Allen comes down. You know, Josh Allen previously in the Sims where was he at? He was at 30%, so he comes down to 25%. Ramondre Stevenson, Bills D is the biggest mover here. They come up from 3% to 8.3%. New England defense comes up from 3% to, what are they here? 7.3%. So, I mean, this kind of is our break-even point, right? If everyone overreacts and starts jamming the defenses, we basically just need to avoid a 14-10 type game, right? Because if we're at the more Vegas projected of like a 21-18 game, then those defenses are less likely to be appearing in the optimal winning lineup. So if you're fading the defenses, you're probably going to need something higher scoring than 14-10. Make your lineup as if it were sunny and 70 with no wind. Call me a contrarian. All right, let's do that one. Let's see how that looks. Let's pretend like it is 70 degrees in Buffalo. Michael Leone's drinking Mai Tais with his shirt off at the Ralph. Do they still call it the Ralph? Let's just play this bonkers. We want to play this bonkers. 35-27. Rush rates are low. Sun is out. The beers are flowing. The pace is high. This seems reckless. That's what we do on this stream. We have reckless fun. Let's see. Here you go. This one's for all the contrarian bros out there. I almost spit out my water. 43% captain. And then just super spread out. Mac Jones, 6%. Diggs, 7.6%. Damien Harris, 7.6. Ramondre, 6.1. I guess the reason this isn't going to work is because we boosted the rush rates and the rush TD ratio. I would need to bring this down too a little bit. All right, let me redo this. We got to bring the rush TD rates down. I mean, we really have to jack this up to get something fun. This is a useless exercise. I just want everyone to know. There you go. All is back. All is right in the world. If you want to play this as a 35-27 shootout, Josh Allen is the optimal captain half the time. Mac Jones, 8.7. Diggs, 7.5. Beasley, 4.1. It is impressive, though, how much Ramondre and Damien Harris are kind of hanging around in these sims and all of these different wild scenarios. I'm feeling like dog shit today, but I'm going to run. I have literally never run a FanDuel sim on here. Let's see if I can even find it. I will run a FanDuel sim for you. There were multiple people who asked for it, and I'm a man of the people, so I will do it for you. Here you go. For all the FanDuel bros out there. Josh Allen, 47%. Damien Harris, 13.6%. Zack Moss, 4.9. Ramondre, 7.1. Mac Jones, 9.1. Let's see what your custom lineups look like. All Josh Allen. There's one Damien Harris. Let's see. How do you get unique on FanDuel? Product owned down here. Here you go. This is how you get unique. You get unique with Zack Moss. Damien Harris, captain. You get leverage off of everyone playing Josh Allen. You have Dawson Knox, Josh Allen, Ramondre Stevenson, Zack Moss. That looks like a good lineup. Here's another one. Low product owned. Damien Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Beasley, Josh Allen, Zack Moss. 5.5 product owned. If you're playing on FanDuel, I think going with a non-Josh Allen captain makes sense. Both because you have the weather and also it just looks like the field is still overwhelmingly going to be jamming him. So yeah, that segment brought to you by FanDuel.com. A Yahoo sim? Did I just open Pandora's box? Fine. I'll do a Yahoo sim. You guys are out of control tonight. Game type superstar? What is this shit? I need to go blow my nose. Me too, KZ. Me too. Everyone here is Jay Fresh won $100,000 running the Yahoo Sims. Now they all want that good stuff. It's actually interesting that across all the sites, it has kind of a similar captain distribution. Josh Allen, 43%. Damien Harris, 12.7. Mac Jones, 8.6. Ramondre Stevenson, 6.6. And there's our Zack Moss. So on Yahoo, you guys call it the superstar? That's so bad. We have captain, we have MVP, and superstar. Who's your superstar tonight? How about this Ramondre Stevenson lineup here? Ramondre Stevenson, Zack Moss, Josh Allen, Damien Harris, Mac Jones. Sometimes I go to type something on my computer, and then I realize I have to talk. But the superstar just made me think of that movie with Mary Catherine Gallagher, where she sniffs her armpits. I don't forget what she says, where she goes like, I forget what the line is. That's what I think of when I hear superstar. Thank you, Six. Except when you said you were offended by my lineup, my Bink lineup. I saw your comment on the tilt space. Big Meat Pete. Wow, we're back. Yes, the Molly Shannon movie. Thank you. All right. Any other questions here? Do you guys want me to run the sim on Super Draft? You guys want me? Any of you guys playing? What else can I run the sims on? What other sites are there? I think we've exhausted the sites. Let me just go back to the DraftKings real quick. I wanted to just look at these custom lineups again. Kendrick Bourne captain is wild, but one thing you can see about these simulated lineups that is pretty nice is just how unique a lot of them are because we're getting Zack Moss in so many of these. So generally when you see the top 20 lineups in the simulator, the product own is more in this, 140, 200 range. The fact that we have so many under 15% product own here is very exciting to me because it feels like if we're correct on this Zack Moss edge, we're going to have a nice chance to profit tonight because the collective ownership just isn't reflecting kind of what this game could look like with Zack Moss seeing a decent amount of work. So that's my takeaway for tonight. Get Zack Moss in your lineups. The field isn't going to catch up enough to him being active, and you're just getting the double whammy. You're getting him as a surprise active on top of a game condition that perfectly suits his skill set. Pete, please don't lose the bankroll by not playing Mitch. Who's Mitch? I don't even know who Mitch is. Who's Mitch, guys? Someone tell me who Mitch is. Is there a top secret play on this slate that I don't even know about? Now I'm scrolling through names trying to find a guy named Mitch. Mitchell Trubisky? Oh my goodness. You did full siege? You're going full siege on this one. You're already so bored with the weather and Zack Moss. We saved the Mitchell Trubisky takes for the slates where it's boring and nothing's changed and we're just having to feel something. We actually have a good slate here. All right. I need to go blow my nose. I need to go sleep. Someone at me in the morning if I won one of the big 20 maxes. I appreciate you guys. Have a great slate. Good luck. Bank. Live that screenshot life. Zack Moss for life. Let's go.
Thank you.